I've got this one raised bed that is designated mainly just for jalapenos. Right now there's 36 plants. Each plant is spaced out by 12 inches. How I did that was I grabbed my hori knife, and on this knife has 6-inch marks, and then in total this is 12 inches long. So all I did was I had a starting point, and then from there I measured and I just did a little boop, and I just kept doing that across the entire bed. Afterwards, I went through and placed the pepper plants to my liking. Right now we have a majority we have 1, 2, 3, 4, there is 5 rows of the Craig's Grande jalapenos, so that's what these rows are. And then we also have 1 row of the lemon spice jalapeno. That is just a yellow jalapeno once it ripens fully. An orange spice jalapeno, which is kind of a dark orange, almost a red, but it's really dark orange jalapeno. And then 2 rows of the pumpkin spice jalapeno. My advice when you are starting to plant any peppers out in the ground before they have fully established their root system, if you see there is a little flower trying to start right here, I'm going to pull that right off. Right now I don't need it to focus on producing any fruit. I need these to focus on establishing strong root system and growing a little bit bigger before they start fruiting actually. So yeah, that's what this bed looks like. Over in this bed I have shishito peppers and some peppercini peppers. The shishitos, I don't preserve those. These we typically just eat as like fresh eating. So I wanted these all to be relatively in the same spot and somewhere easy to access, so that when I come out here to harvest peppers for dinner, they're all just in an easy spot for me. And then the peppercinis, these I will preserve. These ones, obviously a lot of people know what peppercinis are good for, but I really do like these. So this will be my first year actually pickling and preserving the peppercinis, so I'm really excited about that. The plants look relatively good. Yeah, we're excited. Another thing I realized is I have quite a few peppers left over. There's nothing wrong with that. What I'm going to do this year is I had to find a place for the peppers. So there was an area in the garden where I didn't really quite know what to do with it, so I'll show you what that is. So this area right here, we tarped it off last season due to weeds and whatnot. But we also planted, I can't remember what we planted here last year, but you can see in some areas there's these holes. And in those holes we planted something. Like I said, I can't remember what it was. I remember what it was. I attempted to grow watermelon there. It didn't work. I've never been successful at growing watermelon, but this year I will be. So this area, I will remove this tarp, and then I'll go through and I'll do the exact same spacing with the 1 foot apart, and this whole area will be for peppers. Another thing that you can do if you have too many peppers left over is call your family and friends and say, hey, would you like some peppers? They always say, sure, what do you got? List them off. Now I have an area that I've pulled off for my mother, so she can have some peppers this year. Yeah, not always a bad thing to have too many plants. I'm going to show you how to plant this one pepper. It's not super hard. All we do is we start with somewhat of a smaller hole. It's probably 3 or 4 inches deep. Remove my tag. I'm just going to flip this upside down, hit it, mush that around a little bit to loosen that up till it comes out. This is what we got root wise, not root bound. They look really good. And I'll just take my hand and I'll dig a little bit deeper, and I want that to be pretty flush with the soil. And then all I'm going to do is backfill with the soil that we moved earlier, and then push that down and call it good. There it is in the ground. Gray, why are you so dirty? I realized I did not film the beginning process of planting out my tomatoes, so I will just show one of the beds that is completed and then the ones that I am currently working on. Alright, so these don't look like much and they look kind of sad and wimpy, but each one of these is a tomato, and we have these little tags on them. They're just little tree tags. First time using those, but they look nice. And then over here we have what we're working on currently. So we have the depth that we want them, and we have an egg for each of the holes. Obviously we're not going to plant it with that cup, so we'll remove the cup, drop the egg in, crack the egg, and then plant the tomato on top of all that. But currently we have 5 rows. We have the 1 row that's planted with the cherry tomatoes only, and then this bed right here has these are like the yellow and orange tomatoes, and then from there it goes to red tomatoes and kind of purple tomatoes, like the darker red, I guess. And then from here it goes more of the tried and true, like the heavy hitters. So I've got Paul Robeson down there, Abe Lincoln, and Oxheart all the way down at this end. And then these are just kind of a hodgepodge of random varieties that either I'm starting brand new this year or I don't need a whole lot of them. So that's how I have everything categorized this year. Yeah. Doubt. All the tomatoes are planted. My back feels like it's broken, and my wife is now going through and watering them because they look really bad. Anytime that you remove seedlings or starts from their home where they've been sitting for months at a time, they can wilt, which is fine. Give them a good drink of water and they will come right back. So right now they're not very big. I'll insert a clip of what they look like because they're a little sad, but I'm not worried. They will spring back up here within the next 24 hours, and if anything, if they don't, I'll just replace them. Call it good.